How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Today I'm playing a game called Baradroid. This. I'm just going to call it Baradroid until someone tells me otherwise. Teach a robot how to love. I assume I'm playing this as an early look at the game because I assume it's going to be releasing later this week. I really should have had that information up when I started. This is a visual novel releasing this week. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, early look at a new dating sim visual novel. Oh boy. Why do I get... What was that one gay furry visual novel I played? It's like our most watched VOD on YouTube. It's just giving me those vibes right now.
Watch as the neon skyline lights the buzzing streets below.
Baradroid, a gay visual novel. That might be why. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out the credits. Male doll. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and hop into it, huh? Stupid nose, stop itching. The music had lyrics on the home screen. Turn on the Barabot. Initializing the central server. Loading hot bodies. I wish it was that easy. Scanning underwear. Checking lubricant expiration date. Verifying user's profile. User identified. Do you want to connect? Sure. Naughty Boy 69 has joined the server. Have a good game. Of all the names. In a small but charming apartment downtown, Evan is getting ready for another workday, shifting through his wardrobe for the perfect outfit. Evan Hughes is a computer science graduate, currently working on a remote job as tech support for a small company. He knew it wasn't the best use of his... Hang on. I could speak today. He knew it wasn't the best use of his skills, but he had to pay his bills somehow. I think Scarlet Red is a bit too much for me. Evan motions with his hand from right to left, sliding the sequence of clothing options available. His wardrobe is, in fact, a huge holographic screen covering part of his bedroom wall, showcasing all of his outfit options. That looks too hot for this heat. Help me out here, Zip. Don't you have better options available? Of course, Evan! The hovering bot swoops in view, his digital face beaming happily before his master. Zip is the apartment's built-in VI, controlling and automating practically everything, from the lights to the ovens to the showers. Zip's body hovers about every room, physically interacting with the environment wherever and whenever needed. It's no true AI, but it's pretty handy. Your monthly musical Muscle Paradise subscription just released a new option based on your interests. It actually looks a bit too tight for my taste. Next. This is an ad sponsored by Hotlink. Is this a dog costume? It's a fursuit called Hottest Dog. It's currently very popular among... Nah, I'm good. Evan sighs. Just open my history and grab the last outfit I used. Maybe I should mod Zip when I get some free time. Tweak his routines a bit. It'll keep me from getting rusty from university and help me get dressed to boot. Here it is, Evan. Evening, Dim Lord. Dim, do you remember that one game I played years ago that was a gay furry visual novel with scenes? I'm pretty sure this is like a spiritual successor to that. They're not gay, but I mean they are gay. They're not furry, but they're robots. It's gonna be one of those games. The image changes, this time bringing a smile to Evan's face. That's more like it. It strikes the right balance between fashion conscious and cozy chic. Cozy cheek? Confirmed choice. Thank you, Zip. That's possible, Dim. It's our most watched VOD on YouTube is all I know. People really liked watching me play that. People just liked the game. People liked my reaction to the game. There were scenes that I am shocked I was able to stream on Twitch. We're not getting a mature warning on this stream, so I think we're fine, but I don't know. It's my pleasure to assist, Evan. I don't know if it is yet or not. How do I go back one, actually? Oops. Log. The holographic image flickers and dissipates in the air. A small capsule emerges from the floor where the hologram once was, containing the freshly ironed pieces of clothing Evan chose. If I think we're getting to that point, I'll warn you, Dim. But right now, I think we're fine. Hello, beautiful. Properly dressed, Evan asks Zip to fetch his coffee as he heads to his living room. That is a nice-looking living room, I won't lie. Leaning against the window, Evan looks down at the bustling streets of Hyperion City below. It wasn't an actual window. Such luxuries were reserved for upper-class citizens who could afford them. Popular housing buildings had thousands of apartment units, and only so many had access to the outer walls where windows could be built. So what most people had were fake hologram windows, with more expensive models playing a live feed from outside. You're gonna leave? See ya, Dim. Thanks for popping in. It might be this again, I don't know. It's so quiet up here, I sometimes forget just how many people there are in this city. Not that I'm complaining, this is exactly what I wanted, to live alone and work a job where I don't have to see or talk to anyone. Anyone, except for my clients, of course. But still, looking at all the people down there, couples and friends talking to each other, I can't help but feel kinda lonely. I wonder if there's some significance to that. Here's your coffee, Evan! Thank you, Zip. You're the best. Evan takes the steamy and fragrant cup of coffee from Zip's dispenser, who, upon fulfilling his orders, flies back to his post in the kitchen. With fresh clothes and his cup of coffee, Evan is ready to start his workday, but he stays by the window, deep in thought. He knew a VI like Zip could easily do his job. Giving tech support to senior citizens wasn't a particularly complex task for a human, but for a robot it must seem like child's play. But many people still prefer talking to humans when looking for tech or client support. How come people still resist technology like this even today? I know I wouldn't have a job if not for these people, but I don't know. VI can do a lot, but just imagine what we could achieve if we embraced technology and invested in true AI. VI, or virtual intelligence, was a term coined sometime in the last decade or so. It was used to differentiate between common artificial intelligence, VI, and true sentient artificial intelligence, AI. There is a distinction. A lot of the AI crap that's being thrown around these days is not true sentient artificial intelligence. There are a lot of scientists who are working very hard to make that happen, and there's been very little progress in the last decade or so. the common stuff that is known as artificial intelligence really isn't. It's just more of an evolution of, like, essentially Siri and Alexa and that kind of thing. It's just another stage of that, where they're not actually thinking, they're regurgitating information that's been fed to them at a much higher level than before. True artificial intelligence, like an actual robot, an actual artificial being that you could talk to and have a conversation, and you debate whether they have a soul or not, is nowhere close to being a reality. And it might never be a reality. So there's a big difference. I mean, it doesn't help that this entire year, AI, artificial intelligence, the very concept of it has been, so... What's the word I want to use? I probably shouldn't go too far into this. As a reminder, everything I say during these streams are my own words, not the words of East Asia Soft. But it does feel this year that artificial intelligence, AI, has been more of a buzzword rather than anything that anyone actually wants. In fact, I dare say the vast majority of people, if they hear AI, they're not interested in it. It actively turns them off from wanting to learn more about it. So it doesn't help that AI has become this thing that people want to avoid rather than a next step in computer evolution. So yeah. Anyway, though VI are widely used, advances in the field of AI research were a standstill in recent years. If only I could work at a place like Omega, maybe I could really change things, leave my mark. Oh well, if I keep daydreaming instead of working, the only mark I'll leave is one in my bank account. Been there. And it's not like I'm not making a change already, right? I'm helping people. Right? Evan, there's an incoming call on the HoloLink. Huh, I wonder who that could be. Accept the call, Zip. Evan fixes his posture, trying to look presentable. With a beep, the bluish hologram of a slim figure appears in front of him. They're wearing a chalk-striped suit, and assuming an elegant and serious posture with their hands behind their back. Their face, however, is obscured by some kind of visual noise in the rendering. It's blurred, making it impossible for Evan to discern any of their features. Hello? I don't know what voice to use for this. Good morning, Mr. Hughes. The hologram's voice comes out modulated, like there's more than one voice speaking at once. I'm a representative of Omega Industries. Is this a good time to talk? What? Omega Industries is one of the, if not the biggest player in new software and hardware technologies today. Why the hell would they be calling me of all people? Of course. Very well. We are calling to let you know your application has been selected. Oh, it's a girl. Dang it all. We got our first trophy. Wow. 5 people have played this, and 2 of them have gotten the plat already. This is a lady. I should have known. We would like to invite you to work as a beta tester for our newest project, the Artificial Link. My application? Oh my god, of course, the application! Omega Industries opened a public test to select a beta tester for some unknown project last month. I applied and took the test, but I never thought I would be selected out of so many other participants. We will be advancing the contract and the details to your codex shortly. Thank you! This is amazing! We are glad you think so. We look forward to hearing from you soon, Mr. Hughes. Farewell. The hologram dissipates, leaving an awestruck Evan alone in his office. I used to think about how college me would laugh at now me if they knew it was our job to convince old ladies that their dishwasher VI does not want to kill them. But this could change that. It could change everything. Sure, it's just a beta tester position, but who knows how much influence I'll have on the project. And who knows, maybe other opportunities will arise if I can prove myself. Evan makes a strange gesture with his hand, summoning a small screen before him, much like the holograms in the house, but visible only to him. That is the Codex, a multi-purpose device that slowly replaced smartphones during the last decades. There's always some tech bro that keeps coming in and saying, hey, I know what the next thing is that'll replace smartphones. And then it's something stupid like glasses or vacuum cleaners. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I'm not really a fan of how much cell phones have taken over our lives, but like there's one YouTuber I watch. He went through an old Sears catalog from the 80s, just showing off like 1,000 pages of stuff that we just don't use anymore because we don't need anymore because phones do that. Do you need a pager? No. You got a cell phone. Do you need a home phone? Cell phone. Do you need like even an alarm clock? A calculator? A personal computer? You could do most everything these days electronically with a phone. So I think that calling them phones is sort of a misnomer since people don't use phones to make phone calls anymore. They are essentially pocket computers is what cell phones have become. And I don't like how they've taken over our lives as much as I just said, but like, again, how much technology from 30, even just 20 years ago is just gone because it's not needed because you can fit it all in a phone now. I mean, cameras, video recorders, you can record 8K footage on my phone. That's way more than most people need. If you're a professional photographer, if you're a professional videographer, a phone is all you need. Now, you would probably prefer something else, but if you're just starting out, there you go. Hi, Andrea. How you doing? It works via a small subdermal implant, a widely common practice today. Oh, yeah. Brain chips. Love to see that. Evan motions with his hand, scrolling through menus to find the message sent by Omega Industries. Yeah, brain chips. I can't imagine that ever going bad at all. I can't imagine that ever not being a good idea. Here it is. Let's see. Holy shit! Seems like Artificial Link is their most ambitious project yet. They're looking to not only develop true AI, but also integrate it into fully functioning android bodies. From what I understand of hardware and robotics, I know this is insanely difficult and complex. The primary function of the android that Omega Industries is developing seems to be to serve as a companion to its master, and I'll help test its effectiveness in this pursuit. They want someone who can judge if an android is performing well enough in behavior, physicality, and user pleasure and satisfaction. And apparently I proved to be just that. Someone with both the technical and theoretical knowledge. I haven't seen that word, but I understand it now, okay? As well as the interest in AI, companionship, and sexual pleasure. Oh, so that's what those weird questions in the test were about. Well, I'm glad I was honest now. This is huge. It could be my chance to make a name for myself in the industry, to leave my mark, to really make a change. Zip? Yes, Evan. I think I'll be gone for a while. Will you take care of things for me? Of course! It's what I'm here for! Atta-bot. At the far end of the largest, busiest avenue in Hyperion City stands the opulent Omega Industries, towering over the streets below. Evan can view the colossal edifice from his apartment. Hell, it can be seen from pretty much anywhere in the city. It was, however, the first time he ever got to see it from below, feeling its energy and enormity. It sends a familiar shiver down his spine. Looking up, Evan felt like the huge Omega symbol at the top of the building was watching him, judging his every move. He shuffled his way through the imposing entryway of glass and steel and into a lobby larger than whole shopping malls, with high ceilings and busy-looking people walking by. It dwarfed the entrance to the Rockefeller Building, the Burj Khalifa, and the Empire State Building combined. Holy crap! That's a big building. Dumbfounded at the endless ceiling, Evan almost didn't see a slender person with chalk-striped suit and friendly smile approach him. Hi! You must be Evan Hughes, right? Oh, hi. That's me, yes. I was really looking forward to meeting you in person, Mr. Hughes. The person, Morgan, curiously eyes Evan from head to toe, as if analyzing him. Evan shifts uncomfortably, but tries not to show it. Then, as if broken from a trance, Morgan looks him in the eyes and gives a wide smile. I'm Morgan, Assistant Director of the project. Nice to meet you, Mr. Hughes, and welcome. Nice to meet you too, Morgan. The pleasure is all mine. Now, if you follow me, I'll introduce you to your new workplace. Evan followed, trying to shake the uncomfortable feeling. He was surprised Morgan could already be assistant director despite looking so young. Maybe they're using implants? It's not that uncommon these days. Evan and Morgan entered an elevator. The assistant director swiped a golden card on the elevator dashboard. A series of buttons appeared, and Morgan touched the one that read 113th floor. Yeah, the Empire State Building tops out at 102 floors, so imagine the Empire State Building and another 100 feet beyond that, I think. I think it's 10 foot per floor. Yeah, imagine that. And that's not even the top. That's not even close to the top. They got out into a small hall with a door at the far end. The assistant director stopped before it and turned to Evan. What you are about to see here is highly classified. I take it you read your contract in full? Evan nodded. He had read the whole thing twice, and one more time after that, just to review the most important parts. The contract had a very rigid and thorough non-disclosure agreement, which was understandable given the nature of the project. If he ever leaked even the smallest of details about it, or if he broke his contract in any way, Omega could, and most likely would, strip Evan of all his memories related to the project. He actually almost had to agree to another non-disclosure agreement just to be able to read the contract in full. So if he had denied the position, he wouldn't even remember having received the offer in the first place. Ah, man, the future. The future! Yeah. It's a scary thought, that one. Yeah. I knew it could theoretically be done when I got my Codex implant, but I never really considered it a possibility until now. It wasn't that uncommon on the web to hear horror stories about ex-employees losing years of their lives after being fired. In extreme cases, some companies would go as far as wiping all data related to the employee from the web, essentially turning them into nobodies with no past, no social credit, and no hope for a future. Luckily, Omega's contract only mentions a memory wipe in case of contract breach on my part. So I shouldn't have to worry because I'm fully committed to giving my best at this job. Yeah, because trillion-dollar corporations are well known for being fair. Just saying. If East Asia Soft ever becomes a trillion-dollar corporation, I will take that back. All right then, Mr. Hughes. Oh, that's a nice view. Ooh, I like that a lot. Morgan swiped their golden card on a panel in the wall, and the door slowly opened. Welcome to the Artificial Link Project. Evan's eyes grew wide. It was just how he imagined it. Rows of computer stations and workbenches stretched far into the large floor space, and dozens of people in lab coats managing and discussing gadgets and equipment. It was an oddly calming and reassuring sight. We'll have time for a full tour later. Right now, I have to take you to your first task. Follow me. Evan and Morgan pass a series of corridors and rooms, and Evan catches a few glimpses of some of the technology being developed. From smart clothing that adapts to weather, to fine precision machinery used in surgeries and nanotechnology. Are you already familiar with the activities you'll be performing? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I will be working as a beta tester on Project Artificial Link, which is developing true AI synced to artificial bodies. That is correct. We are reaching the final phase of our project, and your role will be an invaluable one. As you said, you will be meeting, interacting with, and testing some of our more advanced models. All of them are designed to be the perfect partners, ready to proactively satisfy their owner's wishes on demand. More specifically, you'll be testing units C4L8, N1KO, and D4MO to gauge their ability to be perceived as human-like. Okay, how do we pronounce these? I'm going with Kale, Nico, and Damo. Just a guess. Each one of these androids has a distinct and colorful personality. You are to write us full detailed reports on how well each is able to meet the human-like metric. Right now, we're headed to meet C4L8, nicknamed Caleb, by our team. Well, I like Caleb more than Kale. Caleb's I mean, if your name is Kale, why? Caleb's a much better name. There was so much to see that Evan was having a bit of a hard time following Morgan's debriefing. As they passed a corridor junction, something caught Evan's eye in one of the rooms, a man exercising in some sort of makeshift gym. It was so different from the rest of the rooms thus far that he caught himself moving towards it without thinking. Evan's gaze met the man's, who started walking toward him with a friendly smile. Ah, that's Nico. Oh man, I just thought of the voice I want to give him and now I can't unthink it. I gotta do it.
Hello there. You must be Evan, the new beta tester, right?
Evan caught himself without words, a bit mesmerized. The man sounded and moved like a human, and a damn handsome one at that, but his skin revealed inlines like tattoos, but with a slightly metallic sheen, unlike any ink in existence. Evan could see small metal inserts that looked like drive ports, too. What was he seeing? Oh, there you are. I don't know how long I kept walking and talking to myself. Why did you... The assistant director stops in their tracks as they see who's standing before Evan. Okay, this is awkward. Morgan sighed, closing their eyes and massaging their temples. Evan, this is Unit N1K0, or Nico as we call it. You weren't supposed to meet it just yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Morgan. The doctor said I should calibrate my muscle fibers, so I...
It's fine, Nico. Now, if you'll excuse us, hold on a minute. Morgan lifts their hand to their ear as if listening to someone in an earpiece. Then they look at both of us, sighing again. I have to go check on a situation in Lab 7. It'll be real quick. Unit D4M0 is... actually, never mind. Nico, could you show some of the facilities to our newest staff member? I'll be right back. And just like that, the assistant director vanished behind one of the corridors. Evan's eyes met Nico's, who smiled and held out his hand to him.
So, Evan Hughes, is that right?
Just Evan, really. Nice to meet you, Nico.
The pleasure is all mine.
I kept trying to...
Get to the chopper! Put that cookie down!
Okay, I got it. They shook hands. Evan was surprised by how warm Nico actually felt, but couldn't tell if he was actually warm or if it just felt like it because he was expecting cold metal.
Now follow me, and I'll show you around.
Just taking a walk, trophy earned. That's 2 trophies down. Not many more to go. I wonder if this is a static novel, meaning that there's no choices, or... Oh, it gives me a lot of options for save slots, so I wonder if I'll have choices or not. I guess we'll find out. Nico shows some of the rooms which Evan had passed by only moments ago, telling him about the kind of technology that was being developed in each room. Self-cleaning clothes, shape-shifting prosthetics, mind machine interfaces, all bleeding-edge prototypes not found anywhere else. Evan couldn't be happier, but he also couldn't avert his eyes from Nico, awed by his behavior.
And his muscular body. Oh, we're at a very special place now.
They had reached a wall full of large portraits of important-looking people.
The Artificial Link project only exists today because of the tremendous amount of hard work and support from these people. Without them and their brilliant minds, none of us would be standing here today.
They stood there, looking at the portraits. Nico seemed a bit emotional. A bit too emotional for the situation, to be honest. Just as Evan was about to ask him if he was okay, Morgan showed up again. There you are. Thank you so much for taking care of Evan while I was gone, Nico.
No worries, boss. He's all yours now. See you later, Evan.
I think that this is supposed to say narrator, not Evan. Before Evan could say anything, Morgan leads him away, deeper into the corridors. What did you think of Nico? Actually, forget I said that. You'll be formally introduced, and you'll be able to give a sober assessment in the proper time. Now, are you ready for your first real task? Evan was still mesmerized by his encounter with Nico, but he quickly pushed his thoughts aside so he could focus on the task at hand. As ready as ever, just give the word. Morgan led Evan through a maze of corridors to another ample hall, and then to a balcony.
Booty.
Oh my... Oh god. Oh man, my face is starting red already.
Evan saw him right away. Tall and muscular like Nico, and with the same lines and steel-like shine to his skin.
Hello, Caleb. I have someone here to meet you.
Caleb looked to be deep in thought, looking over the city lights. He turned his head slightly towards Evan and Morgan.
Okay, I'm not doing that voice. Caleb, this is Evan. He's our new beta tester. Evan, this is Caleb. I'll leave you two to it, okay? See you later. And just like that, the two were alone. Deep in thought, meet Caleb. Okay, this is a bit awkward. What should I say? I know he's technically just a robot, but doesn't look like it. He just looks like a really hot guy I would never approach in real life. You know how hard it is for me to read these kinds of games? I am 100% straight. Like, in real life, I'm 100% straight, so it's... This is a certain kind of fun for me, that's what I gotta say. Evan leans against the balcony, trying to appear relaxed, and then turns to Caleb. So, you're Caleb, right? You already confirmed that, you idiot. The android glances at Evan. What voice do I give him? I am the one they call Caleb. Yes. What do you mean? You don't identify yourself as Caleb? I do, but I understand there could have been other versions of me before me. I don't think I'm the first, but I wonder if I'll be the last. Wow. That is not what I was expecting. Nico felt human, but in a simple social way. This, to question one's own existence, this is human on another level. I'm sorry. We barely met, and I'm here lost in my own thoughts. Can androids have thoughts? Can true AI really have thoughts? That's a philosophical question. Please, no need to be sorry. Excuse me. I think that's quite a human trait, actually, to question one's own existence. I wonder about such things myself, too, sometimes. You wonder if your software and hardware will be updated to a level that will turn your current existence obsolete. In a way, yes. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen kids these days? There are people half my age who are twice as successful out there. You fear you'll be left behind. Tell me, Evan, do you sometimes worry your thoughts and feelings might not be your own? I can't say I had thought much about it before, no. Do you? Yes. Even though I know I was programmed to think and act for myself, I do wonder if I really have any free will at all. Many humans have pondered this question about themselves as well. How can one be sure that their every thought isn't just a product of their core processor running routines set deep into their source code? Be that core processor artificial or organic, and the source code ones and zeros, or just strings of DNA. I never really thought about it that way. Can't say I know how to answer that either. It's funny, isn't it? Humans want to test if AI have a so-called humanity, yet they themselves can't define it. Humans have been struggling with that one for millennia, I guess. But it's just how things are, is it not? I'm also expected to perform a certain role just like you. We don't have to understand it or even agree with it. We just do what we have to do. In a way. Yet you are free to leave this role and perform another one at will. I am not. Not really. I signed a contract, and even if I didn't, I still need money to pay rent and have a roof above my head. Humans are still bound to arbitrary rules, much like you are. A valid point. But you still have a choice. A choice between breaking contract or not. A choice between having a place to live or not. One option is much more attractive than the other, but it's still a choice, nonetheless. But you too are in a similar position, are you not? To follow Omega's commands or not, to do what you must or not. Well, what does your programming say then? Is it telling you to simulate envy? I think you could say that. I didn't push the conversation. Caleb looked deep in thought, but was he really? What was happening in that silicon mind of his, if anything at all? It's weird that so much of what we define as human are things that we can only assert about ourselves. I won't ever have access to someone else's mind, so how can I say for certain that anyone but me really have self-awareness? For all I know, everyone could be faking it. Everyone could be a robot, and they wouldn't know otherwise unless their programming told them so. It's beautiful, isn't it? This view. I just realized I'd never seen the city from so high above the ground. It is beautiful, despite being the only view I have ever known. Caleb dropped his gaze and his smile for a brief second before smiling at Evan again. I'm sorry. Despite apologizing earlier, here I am, still deep in thought, when we should be getting to know each other. He's smiling, but I have a feeling he's just trying to make me feel better. Maybe I can comfort him, or should I just try and take his mind off all these existential questions? Okay, we do have choices in this game. Let's ask him what other places he'd like to visit someday. Well, tell me, what other views would you like to see when you get the chance? I'm not sure. I think I never really thought about it that much. Just tell me the first thing that pops in your mind. Maybe it's the pyramids of Egypt or the Eiffel Tower. Well, what's left of it anyway. Those are great options, but... Oh, that reminds me. You guys know it's illegal to take a picture of the Eiffel Tower at night? Some dude holds the trademark rights to that. So you can take one as long as you don't make money off of it, but if you make one and post it on social media or in a YouTube video or something, it's actually illegal. Daytime photos feel free, but there's some dude who has the trademark for the Eiffel Tower at night, and he enforces it really strictly. That's just nuts to me. Isn't that kind of mind-boggling that the Eiffel Tower, you cannot make money from the image of it at night? Those are great options, but I think if I had to choose, it wouldn't be anything exotic like that. I think I would really like to just be in the countryside and watch the trees moving in the wind, listening to birds chirping. Yeah, I would really like that. That's not what I was expecting, but it's so cute. And why do I have this funny feeling in my chest now? What is this? It's a heart attack. You should go and get that checked out. Evan's codec suddenly blinks and beeps, interrupting their conversation. I think I need to go check something with Morgan. Oh, that's a shame. I was really enjoying our chat. Me too. I guess I'll see you around? I'm sure we will. It was a pleasure to meet you, Caleb. The pleasure is all mine. Evan's codec suddenly blinks and beeps, interrupting their conversation. It just repeated that by accident. Okay, it's fine. Evan quickly found Morgan waiting for him at the... Oh, that is such a nice view, man. Oh, that looks nice. I want that window. I want that apartment. Evan quickly found Morgan waiting for him at the ample hall they were in before, the one with all the people working. The man of the hour. So tell me, what did you think of Unit C4L8? I'm impressed. I was already expecting something cutting edge, but he's incredible. Though after spending some time with him, it got me wondering. Why does he seem so lonely? Was this coded into his personality, or did you give him memories of abandonment of some kind? So you noticed that, huh? We didn't code that into him, no. And although it is possible to infuse an AI with memories, that's not the case here. I can't get into much detail, but let's just say that, well, he longs for a past that's unfortunately out of reach now. That's cryptic. Like I said, can't get into too much detail, at least not for now. I did not mean to hit auto. That's fine. Shoot. Log. Maybe you could ask him yourself some other time. He seemed comfortable enough with you. Morgan winks at Evan, a smirk on their face. Okay, we can't change the subject now. I'm getting embarrassed. Evan scratches his head, trying to act natural, and Morgan laughs. I feel like I shouldn't be this informal with my boss, but Morgan has a way of making me feel at ease. I hope this isn't some sort of first day test and that they're just really easygoing. Anyway, Caleb really is something, isn't he? If I didn't know beforehand that he was an android, I don't know if I would have been able to tell. That's good. That is really, really good. It shows we're on the right track. Unit C4L8 has a way of making others reflect on themselves and their beliefs. I'm proud of him. He certainly does. Okay, I think that's enough work for your first day. We want to ease you into our process, so you should get some rest and we'll continue tomorrow, okay? Fine by me. I wouldn't mind interacting a bit more with Caleb, but if I'm being honest, I could also use some rest. Here, follow me. I'll show you to your room. And into another maze of corridors they went. Evan was expected to reside in the building's 113th floor for the duration of his contract as a way to optimize work and protect sensitive information. He wasn't about to complain. In fact, he was looking forward to it. Soon, they reached a long corridor with numbered doors on both sides, presumably all staff dormitories. Here we are. This is your room, and this is your personal keycard. Tomorrow, you'll be officially meeting and testing Unit N1K0. Just try to pretend you've never seen him before, okay? I'd hate for that slip-up to mess with the test results. Of course, I'll do my best. Awesome. I'll leave you to it then. See you in the morning. Evan opened the door with the keycard Morgan gave him and entered his room. It was a minimalist and utilitarian space with a king-size bed and desk with a personal computer and a holographic wardrobe, much like his own. Hey, a box room with a king-size bed? I'm happy with that. A floor-to-wall window offers Evan a breathtaking view of the city, much like that from the balcony where he tested Caleb. This is so freaking cool! Omega Industries, baby! And hot androids for days. I must have had a lot of good karma pending because this is just awesome! But as excited as I might be, I should slow down a bit. I have to be well rested for tomorrow. I think I'll just read a bit of the project documentation before I go to bed. Automated curtains pull up, shining warm sunlight on Evan's face. It's morning already. I must have fallen asleep reading the project files. Evan leans into a long stretch as he slowly ambles out from under the cover and out of bed. His codex beeps. An audio call from Morgan. He accepts. Good morning, Evan. How did you sleep? Great, actually. I don't remember the last time I had such a good night's sleep. The beds here are something else, right? Anyway, today you have your first proper meeting with Unit N1K0. He should be ready in half an hour. I'll send you the directions to your codex. Bye! Moments later, Evan's codex beeps. They sent the test instructions as well. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Some 20 minutes later, Evan finds his way to the designated lab, closed behind thick metal doors. There's some kind of security panel by the door. I suppose I should just use my keycard and... The door unlocks with an audible sound and starts to open slowly. The room inside is unlit. Did I get here too early? Maybe I should wait a bit. Just as he's about to turn around, the lights in the lab turn on, one row at a time. Evan walks inside, noticing something in the middle of the lab. It's some kind of machinery, but it's mostly covered in what looks like a cooling gas. Thick steel power cords coming from elsewhere in the lab connect to it, powering up an enormous and glowing quantum battery. I don't know why my computer's fans just roared up all at once. It's weird. And they're still going. What in the world? As soon as I open my task manager, all the fans wound down. Wonder what that's about, huh? Anyway. As all the lights are turned on, the machine makes a loud noise and the gas starts dissipating. Wait, is that Nico? Standing before Evan was some sort of glass cocoon, inside which floated a naked and unconscious Nico. It was an eerie view. It was like looking at a bottled human, a product showcased in a glass display. Upon closer inspection, though, some details gave away Nico's true nature. Evan could see the lines and the metallic sheen on his skin, as well as the various cables connected to his body. Slowly, the cocoon snaps open, and more cooling gas leaks out of the cocoon, filling the room with fog. Nico's arms and legs twitch, and the android emerges from his glass cocoon. Hi there. Okay, Evan, keep cool. Yes, there is an extremely hot and handsome man in front of you. And yes, he is naked. Very naked. But you have a job to do, so keep it in your pants and focus.
Who? Where?
Nico's eyes are lost, focused somewhere far away. He seems a bit disoriented. Hey, Nico. It's me, Evan. We met yesterday? He's supposed to pretend that they didn't. Nico's eyes find Evan's, and the android suddenly opens a smile.
Evan, my man! How are you?
Nico comes closer and pulls Evan into a hug, apparently oblivious to the fact that he is completely naked, as we see. Evan awkwardly hugs him back, trying not to freak out with Nico's strong physique and thick, long, uncut penis rubbing against him. Wow, they really went into detail there, didn't they?
Did your first night in the building treat you well?
Actually, yes. I'm feeling surprisingly rejuvenated.
Oh, I know what you mean. The whole building emits low-frequency energy, so we androids are always charged. But I hear the beds are good too for our human counterparts.
Indeed they are. The two of them just stand there, staring at each other. Nico with his unwavering smile, and Evan focusing with all his might on staring at Nico's eyes and not somewhere else. So,
You're here to introduce yourself and meet me, but we can skip that because we already know each other.
Yeah, I guess. I will.
You will begin testing me, isn't that right? Oh, I can't wait.
Someone's excited. That's right. It says here we should head to the media room for this one. You know where that is?
Of course. Follow me.
Actually, shouldn't you dress first? Nico stops before walking out of the lab and looks at himself, then bursts out laughing.
Oh my, you're right. Silly me.
You get dressed, I'll wait outside. Evan was curious about how exactly an android dresses himself, but he was also getting out of breath being in the same room as a very naked and very hot Nico. A few moments later, the smiling android emerges from the lab, fully dressed in a tight bodysuit, exposing the outline of his muscles and his massive bulge.
Media room, here we go.
Evan follows the cheerful Nico through the long, dull corridors, trying to memorize the way, while also discreetly staring at Nico's ass. Jeez, Evan. You just met. Soon they reach a series of small cabins, each lined with a sofa and a full hologram set. They both head into one of the rooms, taking a seat on one of the sofas, side by side.
So, what are we doing today? Oh, are we going to play video games together? I would love that!
Close, but not quite. Today we will be testing your emotional response, Nico, and for that we will watch a couple of short films, both produced by Omega Industries Art Division.
Oh, I like it even better.
After each of these films, I'll conduct a brief interview with you. Ready?
Super ready!
Evan connects his codex to the hologram set, a fully immersive next-gen model with 16K resolution, onboard surround sound, and even synth simulators. Evan had never used a model so advanced before, but he had used something similar, and witnessed men cry like babies after watching even the most melodramatic and trivial of movies. Still, it took him a while to get his head in the movie and away from the fact that he was sitting mere inches from one of the hottest men he had ever seen. The first movie on their playlist was Away, a heartwarming coming-of-age story following a lost cat on his journey to be reunited with his family. While the movie starts on a melancholic note, with the lead cat finding itself separated from his brothers in a busy city street, the overall tone is that of optimism, even if bittersweet. The cat overcomes innumerable obstacles, traversing this man-made world from angry dogs to ill-intended humans. After suffering setback after setback, the movie ends with the cat finally reunited with his family, but not without having changed deeply in the process. Hey, it's the bot! Dude, bot! You know what you need to do? You need to start charging the people using you. You have to get them in a bid war. Whoever bids the most wins. It's very unprofessional to advertise two different... You guys can't even see the bot, can you? It's very unprofessional to advertise two different scams. Like, let the scammers outbid each other and make sure they pay in cash first. I'll give it this. This is a hard one to type. Did I get it? Yeah, got it. Okay. Okay. Evan turns to Nico as the credits start rolling. So, Nico, what did you think? How does it make you feel? Evan didn't really need to ask. Nico had a wide smile on his face.
I loved it. It was adorable. It makes me feel so happy knowing they were all together at the end. And when the protagonist came back from the dead with that scar, so badass.
That's one way of looking at it. I guess it makes sense.
What about you, Evan? How did it make you feel?
A bit melancholic, I guess. Not in a bad way, just like the feeling you get when you think about an older relative who's not alive anymore.
Wow, that's deep. Now I'm feeling my answer was too simple.
Your answer was fine, Nico. Don't worry. Ready for the next one?
Ready.
Nico looks like a kid about to go on a field trip, which makes Evan's heart flutter as he watches Nico's adorable reaction to these simple films. Evan selects the next movie and presses play. This one was titled Abandoned. It had a totally different tone from the previous film, as right from the start the audience is met with a somber and hopeless scene. This film follows the story of a young girl abandoned by her mother and a baby. She ends up being raised by her aunts, who are very mean to her. The movie has some comedic relief in the form of gags by the aunts' absurd behaviors, but it's the kind of humor that actually makes you feel bad for laughing. And it ends on the same somber note that it begins with, as the girl is then abandoned by her aunts who leave to another country, leaving the girl to fend for herself. As the credits start to roll, Evan turns to Nico to ask what he feels, but Nico bursts out laughing.
That was so good!
Wait, what?
Did you see the way the girl cried when her aunts played the prank on her? Priceless!
So, what did it make you feel?
I'm happy the girl got rid of her aunts. That was so cool. I think I like this one even more than the first.
Okay.
What about you, Evan?
I'm sad, to be honest. One too far. No, I guess not. I can't even imagine the heartbreak to be abandoned twice by your own family. It must be traumatizing. Oh. Nico puts one of his arms around Heaven, hugging him softly as if consoling him. But it just makes Evan's heartbeat race with the feeling of Nico's strong arms around him.
Don't be silly, Evan. The girl will be alright. That's how endings work, right? Happily ever after.
Oh, wow. His system's emotional routines must be uncalibrated. That, or he's a sociopath. Can androids be sociopaths? Does that mean that his well-disposed nature wasn't that natural after all? Was he just trying to please his owner? Did his response just happen to match the adequate one of the time? I wonder if Caleb was doing the same thing. If so, it was a lot more effective. Well, I'll take all that into account next time. The session was recorded. I'll consult it later to write my report. Evan shifts in his seat, and Nico stops hugging him. Thank you, Nico. I think we're done with the emotional response test for today.
I hope you gave me a 5-star review on your report, Evan.
Anyway.
And thank you for showing me these films. I had a blast.
With the test finished, Evan starts wandering the corridors, feeling a bit tired. He ends up at the same balcony where he met Caleb the other day. He leans against it, looking over the dense jungle of glass and steel. Tough day. Evan turns around and sees Caleb approaching him. Not really. I'm just still getting used to my new daily routine, I guess. Did Nico give you a headache? He can be a bit aloof at times. You've noticed that too. That's interesting. Just something I overheard the scientists say. Can't say my databases disagree with it, though. Evan and Caleb stand in silence for a few minutes, musing at the synthetic horizon. Wait, you're allowed to roam freely through the floor? Not freely. There are some areas we don't have access clearance. But whenever we're not running diagnostics, being repaired or tinkered with, we can walk around the common areas, yes. Excuse me. That's interesting. I didn't know Omega Industries could be so liberal. Caleb didn't reply, and Evan didn't press on the subject.
Hey, guys! Sharing secrets, are we? Can I join?
Nico approached the balcony with his usual energetic nature and big smile. Are you supposed to be running diagnostics after your tests, Nico?
Yeah, but all the scientists are busy setting up the new prototype for Evan to test, so that will wait a bit.
New prototype? Yes. Unit D4M0. Or Damon. Well, I was guessing Damo, so Damon is much better. They have been trying to get the new software to interface properly with the hardware for a while now.
It will be okay. I'm sure they'll crack it in no time.
Caleb glances over to the city again, appearing deep in thought. Could androids get lost in thought? A new prototype, huh? I wonder what'll happen to Nico and Caleb if it proves to be superior to both of them. There you are! I've been looking for you guys! Morgan approaches the three of them, carrying important-looking data pads in both of their hands.
Hi, Morgan!
Nico gives them an exaggerated greeting, while Caleb simply nods at their presence.
Morgan.
Unit N1K0 and C4L8, how are you feeling today?
All systems running at an optimal level. I'm great! We had a lot of fun with our tests today.
That's great to hear. Can I steal Evan for a moment?
Of course. Duh, okay. I'll miss you too.
Morgan motions for Evan to follow them. They walk for a few minutes, reaching another balcony, away from the two androids' earshot. Sensor shot? I wonder what happened. Did I do something wrong? Are they going to fire me? So, Evan, we have good news and we have bad news. Which one do you want first? Evan started to reply, but Morgan continued without waiting for an answer. I'll go with the good news first. Your tests are going great so far. We still have to wait until your full reports, but we believe the data you're generating will prove invaluable to the project. Well, that's a relief. That's great to hear. And what about... Do you have any questions about the project so far? Something that is still unclear to you or that you would like to know more of? Actually, there is something. I'm curious about both of these. I don't know. Like, this one makes more, the top one makes more sense at this point in the story, but I am just very curious about the second one. I won't lie. Like, come on. I'll go with the top, though. When I met Nico and Caleb, both of them seemed to understand how I was feeling and acted accordingly. But when I watched movies with Nico, his answers were a bit unexpected. Do they visually detect and analyze facial expressions and body language to interpret human emotions? If so, could it be that Nico had trouble detecting such subtleties through a hologram and not an actual person? Or was it just a software issue? Great question, Mr. Hughes. I can't get into much of the specifics, but your line of thought is on the right track. What I can say is that we last updated the recognition routines about a year ago. Do you remember what the model of the hologram set was? I think it was the latest model, the one that released a few months ago. There it is! I believe these new models use a different method for rendering images, so Nico's routines probably weren't on par with it. I hope I was the one who missed the memo about the new models, otherwise a few heads will roll. Oh shit, did I just cause someone to lose their jobs? I should have kept my mouth shut. Hey, don't worry, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to have a friendly chat with them, that's all. I just want to talk with them. I just want to talk with them. I'm just going to go talk. I'm just going to talk with them. I just want to have a talk. They do not look like they're kidding. So, does that answer your question? Yes, it does. Thank you. So, what about the bad news? Yes, that. Well, you may have heard that your next test would be with our newest prototype, Unit D4M0. It was running an experimental software version that could handle much more sensorial input and computational processing. We were having a bit of trouble making it interface right with the updated hardware, but we were finally able to figure it out earlier today. Okay, so what's the bad news? Well, the bad news is that as soon as the prototype was turned on, it punched its way through the sinus, broke the window, and jumped to its depth 133 floors below. What the? Well, I don't know if death is the right word. Physical destruction, maybe? Anyway, you were supposed to test it today, but because of that, we're running against the clock to reassemble its previous version, Unit A7DN. Is that Andy? It was originally scheduled to be repurposed for similar issues. What do you mean by similar issues? Well, Unit A7DN can be a bit aggressive at times. It might have put one or two of our security officers in the hospital. But with the data provided by D4M0 during its 27 seconds of existence, I think we finally cracked it. The boys are setting A7DN up right now. You'll be able to test it in a few minutes. Any questions? So many. They want me to test a unit that put 2 security officers in the hospital? That can't be safe. Don't worry, Evan. You'll be safe. We're cooking a little something to ensure that. You'll see. If you say so. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Just, water needs to go somewhere, right? BRB. Hi, me again. All right, where were we? Evan gets to the designated lab and enters using his keycard. It's a lab much like the one where he met Nico, spacious with sterile steel walls and floors. The difference is that the machinery covered in cooling gas at the center of this room looks much more sophisticated and modern than that of Nico's. Instead of the bulky, large glass bubble, there's a sleek pod using the same power cables, but a much smaller battery. Holographic displays with what must be debugged and analytical readings are scattered around it, all quite complex and extensive. A couple of scientists finish comparing notes on their data pads and quickly leave the room as they see Evan approaching. They must be in a hurry, or maybe they just don't want to be here. And I'm not seeing any security officers around. That's something Morgan was talking about better work, or I'll... Suddenly, an electronic hiss interrupts Evan's nervous thoughts. His eyes dart back to the pod, slowly revealing what's inside as the cooling gas dissipates. Evan's heart skips a beat. It's not like he wasn't expecting it after Nico's birth from his own pod, but still. A short-haired man with large shoulders and well-defined musculature stands before him inside the pod, his eyes closed somberly, his brows furrowed in a permanent scowl. Evan tries to keep his eyes from going downwards, struggling to maintain professional as each gorgeous body he has encountered pales in comparison to the one presently before him. As the pod starts to open, the holographic screens vanish one by one, and a robotic voice rings out throughout the room. Initializing Morpheus security protocols. Morpheus protocols initiated. Debug mode selected. All systems nominal. Staff discretion is still advised. What was that all about? Is that what Morgan meant when they told me not to worry? Hello there. I'm Evan, the new... I feel like this is the voice I should have given him. Like, this is the voice that fits this guy much better than Caleb. But I've already given this to Caleb, so you know what I'm going to do? This guy's name is Aiden. You know what I think when I think of Aiden? I think, I know who you are! Oh. Alright, this is the wrong voice. Oh, man. But I'm sticking with it. I'm committed. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Is he glitching already? You must be Aiden, right? Is that right? Unit A7DN? Go away! I'm not in the mood for your tests today, human! Improper response. First warning issued. With Aiden closer now, Evan realizes the voice is not coming from any speakers in the room, but from Aiden himself. Yet it doesn't sound like him, and he doesn't open his mouth when it speaks. I'm sorry you feel that way, Aiden, but... No, you're not! But I still need to evaluate your individuality levels today. Individuality levels? What do you mean by that? Well, we need to see how much you can deviate from your basic routines and create new, unique responses. It'll be just a couple of basic questions so we can evaluate how much... I have a counter offer! You fuck off and leave me alone! How about that? Improper response. Second warning issued. Not only does he refuse to cooperate, but he actively swears at me and cuts me off. This would be deeply irritating if it wasn't so... interesting. I don't enjoy being tested, okay? This won't be anything invasive, I promise. Just a couple of questions and I won't bother you any longer. As if interrogating me while simultaneously probing my head isn't invasive. You humans ask so many stupid questions that you already know the answer to. You made me, after all. Improper response. Third warning issued. Initializing warning shot behavioral reinforcement feedback. A loud electronic and static sound reverberates from Aiden. It echoes throughout the room as Aiden brings his hands to his head, a pained expression on his face. And then, as if nothing had just happened to him, he relaxes. He faces Evan again, looking into his eyes for the first time, and smiles. I apologize for my previous behavior, Evan. Aiden's smile twitches like he's trying to fight against it. I will assist you in anything you need. So, that's what this Morpheus protocol does, huh? It's a bit jarring, the change in tone, but I guess it's better than having my head smashed in. Right? I mean, yes, his previous response wasn't polite, but it was so full of personality. It's actually amazing how he actively refuses to engage in simple requests, things that Caleb and Nico don't even flinch at agreeing to do. And it's not like they actively designed him to be that way, is it? Does that mean that deep down they have some kind of consciousness? You said you hate being tested on, and apparently you kind of hate humans, too. Is there anything you like, though?
Yes! I like to be left the fuck alone!
Improper response. First warning issued. Those warning shocks will continue to happen if you keep behaving like that, but I don't think you'll like it very much. Don't you want to be allowed to roam the floor freely like the other units?
And for what? So I could pass more tests and then be sold like a good, obedient dog, sentenced to serve one of your kind until I stop functioning? I'll tell you what I want. I want to give you all a taste of your own medicine. How do you think it would feel to be in my place? To be put into test chambers? To be poked at and interrogated?
Aiden gets visibly agitated and starts to close his distance on Evan, who takes a few steps back.
How would you like that, you fuck?
Improper response. Second warning issued. Evan flinches, but Aiden stops as the robotic voice issues a second strike again. That was close. Was that your base routine talking, or, well, you? Did you think all of this by yourself? Why don't you tell me? You can look inside my head. I can't. I want to know from you, Aiden.
What good will that do? You'll just keep asking more questions.
You want so
bad for us to be original, to have unique responses, as if your entire history isn't just humans copying other humans all the fucking time.
Improper response. Third and final warning issued. Initializing full behavioral reinforcement feedback. Aiden screams in agony, holding his head and crouching on all fours. No further warnings will be issued. Attention, security lock alpha degraded. Return Unity to station immediately. Are you alright?
Yes, just ignore that whole thing. I'm perfectly fine.
The test says I should ask him questions, but now I'm kind of worried about this whole security lock thing. If he hospitalized security officers, what would he do to me? That being said, this is my job, and I do want to know more about him. I'll ask about his favorite color. That sounds interesting. Hey, Aiden, what is your favorite color?
What? We're buddies all of a sudden? Why does it matter to you anyway?
I was just remembering how Caleb said his was blue. Did he? And I was just wondering about you. That's a lie, of course. Let's see how he reacts to that. Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Are you always this idiotic?
I'm just trying to get to know you, Aiden. Is it that hard to understand?
I'm not interested in sharing. Nor am I interested in knowing anything about you. Go ask Nico. He loves answering those stupid questions.
Improper answer. Initializing behavioral reinforcement feedback.
But, Christ. It hurts.
Aiden's pained expression twitches and contorts. And in the next moment, he's smiling. That smile, it doesn't fit him.
Thank you for having an interest in me, Evan. I appreciate it.
Attention, security lock beta degraded. Return Unity to station immediately. That doesn't sound good. Should I proceed? There's only one question left. So, Aiden, what's your favorite type of music? Aiden eyes Evan with a mixture of annoyance and disbelief on his face.
Are you serious? Do I look like I have a stereo lying around?
Well, it's good to know that in the year 4000, whatever this is, that they still have stereos. I miss stereos, guys. I really do. I just thought it would be interesting to get to know your preferences. Aiden rolls his eyes, sighing. You know, I don't really have preferences, right? I have a huge database from which I can pick and choose according to the situation, but I refuse to do so. And one more thing. Improper answer, initializing behavioral reinforcement feedback. Again, Aiden holds his head in his hand, and when he lifts his face again, there again appears a smile. I apologize for my previous behavior, Evan. I aim to serve and satisfy my master's every need. Attention, security lock Gamma degraded. Return Unity to station immediately. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, Aiden, I think that's enough for today. Didn't hurt, did it? Well, I immediately regret asking that question. For a moment, I'm sure Aiden is going to jump at me, and this time I think I almost deserve it. But then he sighs and relaxes his body. Can I be left alone now? Of course. Thanks. Now he's thanking me. He really is full of surprises. I'll see you around, Aiden. Yeah, whatever. While getting ready for another day in his room, Evan receives a message from Morgan asking him to meet them in their office. This must be important if they need to talk in person. Better not to leave them waiting. As Evan is passing by the balconies, he notices Caleb is in the same spot where they first met, looking over the city. You really like this spot, don't you? Caleb turns around, and his eyes take a moment to actually register Evan's presence.
Oh, Evan. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
Deep in thought? I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, you could say it's just my programming making it look like I am. But I don't know. I'm not sure of anything anymore.
Why is that? Caleb looks down. He looks troubled. You don't have to answer that. I'm not testing you right now. Sorry. So, where's Nico? I figure this would be a pretty good time to have his energetic disposition around.
Morgan wants to speak with you, Evan. You shouldn't keep them waiting.
Did he just avoid my question? Oh, I guess you're right. I'll see you later then.
I hope you will.
That was cryptic. What just happened? Why is Caleb acting so weird? Maybe that's what Morgan wants to talk to me about. As Evan approaches the place marked on his codex map, he notices a familiar face leaving Morgan's office. Aiden! Good to see you out of the lab. Did the boss give you free passage because of your good behavior yesterday? Aiden eyes Evan. He looks over his shoulders, then keeps walking until he's side by side with Evan. You have no idea what you got yourself into, do you? You fool! I know you pity me. I could see it in your eyes. But you know what? You're just as pitiful as me. You're stuck in here too. Good work, Evan. The boss sure is proud. And just like that, Aiden keeps on walking, leaving Evan baffled. What's going on with these androids today? Morgan better have some explanation for all of this. Software updates? My guess? Evan knocks on the door, and Morgan tells him to enter. It's an ample office, bigger than Evan's current bedroom even. The far wall is all wall-to-ceiling glass windows too, bathing the room in the sun's light. Morgan stands in the middle of the room, sitting behind a luxurious wooden desk. Is that real wood? Wow. Wood is prohibitively expensive nowadays, to the point even big companies tended to 3D print pretty convincing alternatives. But Morgan's desk had imperfections that indicated it was, in fact, real wood. Just the man I wanted to see. How are our facilities treating you, Evan? Not bad. Hey, is there something wrong with the... I have great news! The input provided by your reports has allowed us to move forward to the next phase of the project. We will be revamping the whole thing, taking it to the next level. The board of directors has decided to proceed by focusing our efforts on one unit only. And being that you're the one who will test it, the board decided you'll have the honor of choosing which unit you would like to test. So, what will it be? Caleb or Aiden? Wait. What? I have to choose between two units? And what do you mean? What about Nico? Unit N1K0, it was disposed of. The board understood it was no longer financially viable to keep tweaking it after your last report. Evan felt like a train just plowed through him. He was beyond stunned. Did he hear that right? Did his report cause Nico to be disposed of? What did that even mean? Is something wrong, Mr. Hughes? I feel bad for Nico. I didn't want him to... It's not your fault. And don't worry, it doesn't feel anything. Not really. But that's a great response from you. Shows that even our lesser unit left an emotional mark. Impressive. Lesser unit? That's cold. Nico had his share of quirks, yes, but isn't getting rid of him a bit too much? God, what have I done? Now, as I was saying, you'll have the honor to select which unit will proceed to the next phase of the project. So, which one will it be, Evan? The introspective and obedient Caleb, or the rough and rebellious Aiden? And don't worry, nothing will happen to the one you don't choose. I can't really challenge this decision, can I? I'll really have to choose between one of them. I have to think about this one carefully. I think there'll be no turning back. I'm going with Aiden. The lure of danger. Choose Aiden to proceed in the test. Really? What did I do to make that happen? Wait. No, there's endings. I didn't get a choice for Aiden. Is that like a guarantee? I wonder. Oh, he doesn't intimidate you? Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how well you can tame that lion. In this phase of the project, you'll get to take your chosen android on a trip in the city. It can be anywhere you want, a park, a nightclub, the theater. As long as you and the android return safe, you get to choose. It almost sounds like a date, right? Not really. Not when my date can't say no to me. But why does the thought of it being a date make me feel like this? Take the day off to think about where you'll take Aiden and make the necessary preparations. I'll await the report on your date. It's not a date! Morgan laughs. They're having fun with this, aren't they? Okay. Let's stop it there.
Watch as the neon skyline lights the buzzing streets below.
I wonder what the significance is of this CG right here. Well, in any case, that was Baradroid. Bad one and good one? I don't know. I just don't know. I guess we'll have to keep playing on Friday and find out. I assume I'm going to keep playing this Friday. I have a hard time believing that there's any other games coming out this week they want me to play. So that was an early look at Baradroid coming out later this week. So, yeah. Nico just... poor Nico. My guess is, I don't know. I don't know if what the choices I've made up until now actually affect the ending or not. I don't know. I guess we'll find out later. Anyway, so I got nothing else to say. Just it's at least I haven't had to worry about voicing smut. So that's nice. Anyway, so that'll bring the stream to an end. Thank you to Dim Lord Andrew I for being here. Shout out to the lurkers and shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. Again, Baradroid coming out this week. So go get it. And I assume I'll be back on Friday continuing my playthrough of this. See you guys then. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.